It was exactly 1 year ago today, but I remember it just like it was yesterday. My husband and I were sound asleep in bed when the phone rang. It was our son telling us our daughter-in-law was going into labor. I was so exhausted, but I was so excited I just threw something on quickly. My husband grabbed the car keys and his brown fedora, and we were on the road in a matter of minutes. We were just about to turn in the hospital entrance when I noticed two bright headlights rapidly approaching. The next thing I remember was waking up in the hospital. I looked around and saw my son crouched over a chair crying. I knew it right then and there. Michael James, man-loving husband of 30 years, he was gone. All I thought to do was roll over, close my eyes, hoping this was all a nightmare. A couple moments later, I heard a nurse come in and she asked if my son wanted to hold his baby daughter. I could hear him weep a little as he rocked the baby girl back and forth. He whispered a gentle voice, "It's going to be okay, Dorothy." I began to tear up. They named their daughter after me. So, needless to say, it's been an emotional year for me, but I'm finally going to visit Michael's grave for the first time. I just still cannot believe he's gone. I drove to the cemetery, parked the car, and began a very emotional walk to see my late husband. When I was approaching Michael's burial site, I noticed a man in a wheelchair right in front of Michael's grave. "Hello, sir," I said in a curious tone. "How did you know Michael?" No response. He probably couldn't hear me? A nostalgic sense of joy came over me when I saw the back of his fedora. Oh, my Michael, he just loved those silly hats. I came up beside the man, looked forward, and I gasped in disbelief. Michael's tombstone read, "Here lies Dorothy James, loving wife, mother, and grandmother."
One of my friends just got a promotion, so he decided he wanted me and some other friends to go out. I don't drink, but he sure does, so I kept him company until about midnight and finally told him that I had to go home and go to bed. As I was driving home, right before the entrance of my apartment complex, I saw these flashing red lights. Police cars, ambulances, and fire trucks were lighting up the night sky. As I drove past the wreck, I tried to get a peek of the car, but couldn't because it was so mangled. I hope he is okay, I thought to myself, and then went on home. When I opened up my front door, I saw the silhouette of my roommate sleeping on the couch. He doesn't usually sleep out here, but it's not the first time. So I brushed my teeth, went to my bedroom, turned on the TV, and fell asleep watching the news. I woke up to the sound of someone tapping on my bedroom door at 3 in the morning. I shouted for my roommate to come in. Nothing, more tapping. I yelled even louder for him to come in this time. Nothing, more tapping. So I started to get out of bed and go to the door when I glanced over at the TV, and across the top of the screen was the heading, "Fatal Accident." Below the writing was a picture of my roommate. I woke up on the sofa and rubbed my eyes, looked over and saw my kid staring at the TV with a frightened look on his face. My 8-year-old son had gotten a hold of the remote and changed the channel to a scary movie when I dozed off. So I quickly grabbed the remote and turned the TV off. "What are you doing?" I said to him. "It's almost 3 in the morning. You're not supposed to watch this kind of stuff. It's going to give you nightmares." I then picked him up and carried him to bed. When I finished tucking him in, he asked me to check the closet for monsters. I knew he was a little scared because of the movie he was watching, so I eased his mind and walked over to the closet, opened the door, and turned on the light. "All clear," I said to him. He told me thank you, that he loved me, and I gave him a hug, walked out of the room, and closed the door. I went to the kitchen because I thought I'd fix a bowl of ice cream before heading back to bed, when all of a sudden I heard a blood-curdling scream coming from my son's bedroom. I quickly ran in there, threw open the door, and saw him lying in the bed, hiding under the covers. "I told you so," I said jokingly. "These movies are too scary for you." I pulled the sheet down from over his head and noticed his face buried in the pillow. I went down to hug him again when he muttered that the boogeyman was under his bed. I chuckled a little. "Okay," I said. I'll make sure the boogeyman leaves and doesn't come back this time. So I got down on my knees, leaned over and lifted up the bed skirt. I couldn't believe what I was seeing underneath the bed. My son curled up with his knees and his chest shaking out of fear. He looked at me and said, "Shh, Daddy, the boogeyman is in my bed."